Everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you are new. In today's video we are going to be carrying on with our biscuit page from Rita Berman's book My Travel Through Europe. So I'm going to go ahead and start on these ones today, so I'll zoom you in and we'll get started. First, going in with lime green, I'm going to make a start on this little leaf on top of this cake. So I'm going to go ahead and use light pressure and add some colour down to there. So this is going to be our base colour. Next, going in with absinthe green, we're going to make a start on adding some shade. So I'm going to make it look similar to this one up here. So I'm going to go around the edges and darken that up. So I'll just use normal pressure when I go around the edges and then lift the pressure to blend it into the middle. Then going back in with lime green, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. Next, taking apricot, I'm going to make a start on the icing on the top. So what I'm going to do is, this is quite a light orangey colour, so I'm just going to run this all over and do a base coat on this top section. So just use light pressure and go ahead and add this colour down. Then going in with pumpkin orange, I'm going to start to add some shade to this. So for this one here, I'm going to shade in between where these little leaves are, and then I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow where the stalk comes out. And again here, I'm just going to shade around the leaves. And I'm just doing little up and down motions so we don't get any harsh lines. So I'm going to carry on doing this all the way around the flower. Next, taking marmalade orange, we're going to go ahead and go over where we left the orange, pumpkin orange, and just start to bring this colour up towards the edge. So again, I'm just using little up and down motions just to blend this colour out, and again, so that we don't have any straight lines. So I'm just bringing this colour a little bit further up and just blending out that pumpkin orange at the same time. Then going back in with apricot, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the edges with a little bit more pressure, just so that it fades nicely all the way to the end. Next, taking raw umber, I'm going to go ahead and make a start on filling in the cake, because I'm going to do this one as a chocolate cake. So I'm just going to use light pressure here and go ahead and do a base coat on the cake section, because I thought orange and chocolate cake would be a nice one for this one. Then taking cocoa brown, which is quite a dark brown, we're going to add some shade to this. So I want to add some shade around the edge of the icing, so it looks like the icing's casting a bit of a shadow down onto the cake. So I'm just going to go ahead and go around the edges of the icing. And then because the shadow's coming from the left hand side, so the right hand's where the light's coming from, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of a shadow to this side of the cake sections. So I'm just using normal pressure against the line and then lifting the pressure as you come in towards the cake. Then I'm going to go back in with raw umber and go ahead and fill this in. And that's our first little one done. I think I'm going to add the highlights afterwards, so we'll move on to this one here. So for this one, we're going to go in with pink macaroon. And what I'm going to do is do one of these sections here in pink macaroon. So I'm just going to use light pressure and just add some colour to this so we can work out where we want the colours to be. I think we'll do this section here. So take that right up and underneath this circular part. And then on the circular part, I'm just going to do the actual little swirl in this colour. So again, just using light pressure for that. Then going in with watermelon pink, I'm going to add some shade to this. So I'm going to shade at the top here where we've got these little sort of lines that have been drawn in by Rita. So you just want to use a bit more pressure at the top and then lift the pressure as you come out so that it blends out nicely. We'll do the same for this bottom section. And again for this section. Then I'm going to go back in with pink macaroon and go ahead and blend this all together and darken it up. So I'm just taking it over the blend line. And then I'm going to use watermelon pink to fill in around this swirl here. So I'm just going to use normal pressure for this and just go ahead and fill this in, but I'm going to avoid the little dots that are on there. And then going back in with pink macaroon, I'm just going to darken up our little swirl that we did. Next, going in with magenta, which is quite a dark pink, I'm going to go ahead and fill in these tiny little dots up here, so that these are quite a dark pink colour. And then I'm going to use this to add some shadow up here. So I'm going to use normal pressure and then lift the pressure as we come down. And we'll do the same here. So light pressure and then a bit more pressure down here to darken this up. Then I'm going to go back in with watermelon pink and go ahead and fill in this middle section. So you can just use normal pressure for this. Just fill this in. And then I'm just going to go back in with magenta and just blend these lines out a little bit better. And I'm also going to use magenta to fill in these little dots around the edge. Then taking lilac, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the little case that it's in. So I thought this would look nice purple, just to break up all the pink. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and fill this in. And that's our second little one completed. Okay, next we're going to move on to this one, and this looks like a cake that's got all of these little ball decorations on, and they're like shiny little balls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these blue because we haven't done any blue on this page yet. So I'm going to go in with Robin Egg Blue 503, and I'm going to make a start by filling in a few of these little balls. So what I'm going to do is just sort of fill them in with normal pressure on the right hand side, and then I'm just going to lift the pressure and leave a little bit of white along this top edge here so it looks like the light's catching it. So I'll do the same for a few random ones in here. Then I'm going to go in with periwinkle blue, and I'm going to do the same again, but with periwinkle blue. Then taking Mykonos blue, we're going to do the same again and add some more blue ones in. So this is a little bit of a darker blue. Then taking blueberry blue, we're going to do some more. Okay, and I think that's enough dark ones. So I'm going to go back in with robin egg blue and add in some more lighter ones. And then back in with periwinkle, we'll add some more lighter ones again. Then going back in with Mykonos blue, do some more in this colour. And then I'm going to go back in with robin egg blue for the ones that are left. So it's just a case of just mixing it up and putting different colours where you want them. And that's our little blue one done. Okay guys, next we're going to move on to this one, which looks a little bit like honeycomb to me, so that's what I'm going to do it as. So I'm going to go in with jasmine yellow as our first colour, and I'm going to use this to fill in these outer edges and these lines here, because I've just had a look at a picture of some honeycomb, and this bit seems to be like a really pale yellowy creamy colour. So this is what we're going to use for this edging. Okay, so next for the insides of the honeycomb, I'm going to use turmeric yellow as our base colour. So I'm going to go ahead and do a light base coat on all of these. Next, going in with camel brown, I'm going to add some shade to them. So I'm going to darken up like the bottom sections and up the right hand side. So I'm just using normal pressure here, and then I'll start to lift the pressure as it comes towards the middle. So I'm going to do the same for all of these. So just sort of darken up the bottom and the right hand side. Then going back in with jasmine yellow, I'm going to go ahead and go over the turmeric yellow, just so that we can blend this all together, but without adding any more colour to it, because I don't want it to be any darker. Taking turmeric yellow, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of shade just behind these little sections. Then taking ginger, I'm going to make a start on the biscuit itself. So I'm going to go ahead and do a base coat on the entire biscuit. Thought we'd make this one look like a ginger biscuit. Ginger and honey. Then taking rust orange, I'm going to use this to add some shade. So I'm going to use this on these corners here. And then lift the pressure. Do the same for this one. And lift the pressure. And then I'm just going to run this all the way along the edge where the biscuit joins the honey. And lift the pressure. Then going back in with ginger, I'm going to go ahead and blend this all together. So just a little bit more pressure and take it over all the colours. Okay, so now going in with our Posca pen, we're going to add some highlights to this. So for this little flower here, I'm going to do the same as what I did for the one up there. So I'm just going to go over the little lines that Rita's drawn in and the dots. And then for these ones, we left the highlight right at the edges. So I'm going to go over the black lines with this highlighter just to really brighten up the edges that we did. For this one, I'm just going to add some highlights where we left the lightest colour in the middle, just so it looks like it's catching a little bit more light. I think we'll add one to the middle of this little swirl here. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and add the little highlights where we left the lightest patch. So I'm just going to do little, sort of like little half moons. And for the smaller ones, I'll just add a tiny little dot to them just to really bring out that highlight. Next, for the honey ones, I'm going to add a little highlight into where we left the lightest part, so just on this top edge here to make this look shiny. Okay guys, so this is how it's looking so far. So I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. We've got another probably one or two to do, I think, because we've got these ones to do next time, and then we'll do the border around the edge. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.